We're going to go on to our next topic, which is honestly a dicey one. But selling on Whatnot can be dangerous.
Oh, boy. Selling on Whatnot can be dangerous. Should I jump into this, boys?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Whatnot. Ricky and I were never really resellers before, and Whatnot came along. Whatnot, this is not sponsored. Whatnot is an online selling platform where it's basically like eBay mixed with Twitch. And so when Whatnot came along, Ricky and I started selling on Whatnot. We're like, hey, this is cool. And now, might as well get it out of the way now. The number one complaint in the beginning was, you guys have a YouTube following. You guys have people coming there. That's not fair. Let me be honest with you guys. How is it not fair that Ricky and I put 10 years into making a channel where we built an audience? It's like Joe Rogan starting Whatnot, being like, not Joe Rogan. I just gave myself a big flex. let's go with like Screech or something from Saved by the Bell. Let's go low tier person.
Oh, rip.
Oh, I didn't even know. See, now I feel horribly bad. Who's a C tier celebrity that's currently alive?
John Stamos.
John, he's
That's
not
an
C
A-list,
tier.
dude.
He's
He's
higher
He's pretty
up.
high. Yeah, okay.
I put Chris on that pedestal of
Let's just put a B movie actor somewhere that whatever, low tier, whatever. If someone starts it, they've built 10 years of doing something, and then they start on selling on some platform, and they have an audience. I've seen Chum Lee from Pawn Stars. There you go. He has Whatnot. He has people watching him, of course. So before we get into Whatnot being dangerous, I have to air it out that, of course, if you have some sort of, if an Instagram star went on, an Instagram famous person, I don't even want to say star because I don't consider us stars. We're low tier. Instagram influencer, whatever person started it, they'd have a following on there right off the gate. Yeah. So that's just part of it. When you work for it, it doesn't make sense for us to think of it another way. Obviously, if you're first time on, you've never done YouTube, you've never done Instagram, you're hopping on, of course you're not going to start and, hey, look, there's 50 people on there. That's just not the way things work, how followings work. It's just not. But I think the dangerous part, I had to get that out, boys. Sorry, I've been holding on to that
No worries.
for a while.
I think one of the questions you're trying to ask is, what are the risks and rewards of being on that platform?
No, that wasn't the one I was trying to answer.
Dang it. All right, all right. Well, then let's go with what you were thinking.
No, it's okay. Basically, yeah. So Whatnot, when YouTubers first jumped on, there was a lot of critique because people were overpaying for stuff, which is true. People were, because it's their first time seeing these people on. It's their first time, like, oh, shoot, these people are selling stuff. That's awesome. We want to buy something from the show. There's a lot of hype, so to say, even though I still never like feeling like we are worthy of being hyped. I always like to keep ourselves down here. But with that, it did happen. Yes, people were overpaying for stuff. As time went on, for sure, it's gotten down. When you sell on Whatnot, the average now, even for us, is like retail or below.
Yeah.
It's more used for us as a platform to move things rather than make our money, right? But where it can be dangerous is for people, let's say like Chris, who didn't have a YouTube thing, who didn't have any sort of following, so to say, previously before they hopped on it. So you and your experience, I know you sold once. Be brutal. Be honest. How was it you didn't really have a following? Yeah, we brought some people in there because we're like, hey, follow our buddy.
Yeah, we probably had like 130 people in there to start. So
This
it
is
wasn't
a horrible example.
People weren't there. Well, because you guys helped promote that.
Well,
so
let's make it clear. We didn't promote.
Not promote.
We were ending our stream and we're like, hey, you should go jump in Chris's. He's starting one.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was the first time we had ever gone on it. I say we did it at the store. That whole experience was a little bit just even nerve-wracking going live like that.
Yes.
But we hopped in there. There was 130 people. To be honest, we got slaughtered. We got hammered on
Financially.
stuff. Just on the items that we were selling.
Which means, what you mean by that is, if you don't understand, he sold things that went for way less.
Way less.
than
Yeah, it was
retail.
fun. We had a great time. We were chatting with people, and it was a fun time. But from my perspective, like with the stores where I can, sell things for market price.
Yes.
Right. Like if a game sells on video game price charts for $30, we market at $30. It's Legend of Zelda, chance it's going to sell for $30. On there, what I felt was definitely, and again, we only did it once, but we took a big decrease in what retail was.
Yes.
Even compared to maybe if I put it on eBay.
Yes.
So that was my experience with it.
I think it's really hard on Whatnot because, it's your first time live. You have to build a following. And I see the criticism that, like, you jump on YouTube, right? And it's your first time on. You're not necessarily taking a risk of losing money. Maybe you lose time, effort, energy, uploading. But on Whatnot, when it's your first time on, you can, lose money because in order to get a following, you don't have to lose money to do so. A lot of people now aren't doing what a lot of new people have to do now is go on and just kind of list stuff, right? It's like a store. You go on, you hang out. Hey, let me know what you want. This is $30. This is $20. This is $50. And I feel like that's your safest bet, but you're also not going to make a ton of sales that way because, it's a store. You'll sell half the items because it's just someone's coming in. Hey, maybe I'll pay that price. Maybe I won't. We've done it the way that it started out in the beginning, and a lot of people are doing it in the beginning, but not everybody's doing it like that anymore. And we're still auctioning things. We're an auction house at this point. It's the same way every week. 20-second auctions starting at $1. We go for it. It's good luck. It might be awesome, or you might get screwed out of your butt. What our wonderful friend Zelda's Lullaby always says is it all evens out, because there'll be items where Ricky and I sell something, we're like, sweet, that went for 10% over what it should have, or 20% even. And we're like, that's awesome, great, that's whew. And then the next item's like, oh crap, that just went for $4 when it's a $70 item. And it's happened to us multiple times. I think the biggest risk for people is when they come in new and without building a following first, they do the auction style, right?
On good items, too.
On good items. And I think that's where it can be
items.
scary for people who don't have a following. I don't like to say regular people because we're regular people, but we just had a following on something else before. So I feel like that's where the biggest risk is auctions and being a new seller.
Which is exactly what we did. Like we came on, and so we were like, oh, let's auction off some really good items in here. And then when we got hammered on them, I was like, okay, if I was ever to do this again, I would not put good items on here.
Unless you listed them for sale, like not...
Or a starting price.
But I would not auction really good items. That platform of like 10 or 20 seconds, I feel like it's such a quick blip you can just, like you said, it's a risk, right?
Huge risk.
Now, if you're looking to move a lot of stuff, then perhaps that it's a good platform for it.
Yeah.
But in my scenario with stores and stuff, or even an eBay account, if you're an eBay seller, it might not be the right platform. It's probably not for me. I understand how it could be useful for people if you're looking to kind of move a lot of maybe mid-low stuff.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, though. We run high.
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
We run like the
yeah.
rarest items on the internet high. Like right now, currently at the time of filming, we're running through those VidPro PlayStation display cards. Those are like average of $40 to $200 on eBay. We're running them at $1.20 seconds.
Those are the PlayStation 1, like...
Yep.
Toys R Us, remember what you used to
Placards,
grab
I guess
the
you'd
little-
call them?
Yeah, they're cards that you'd see at Toys R Us back in the day, where you'd see the image and you take it up to the front and you buy your cards. But those are like eBay, $40 to $200 average. I mean, low sports game is like $20 sold.
Definitely risked a lot on there. And that's almost like one of my biggest regrets is selling one of the things I shouldn't have sold. And it was the Atari Jaguar press kit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like hurts me the most. I was like, I got it for a decent price, but I sold it basically under what I got it for, kind of. It was kind of like I broke even, but with fees and all that, it was like, oh, it really hurts because I'm like, man, that's a one-off. Like the rarity of it, the overall history of what it was, I couldn't believe it. I did it.
Yeah.
But
And so the big advantage is that you guys are saving time. Like if you were to list all your items on eBay,
We're probably getting like 30 to 40% of value, but I don't have time.
it's the
to go
time
on eBay.
Yeah.
So it's a time.
I'd
saver.
rather make 30, 40% and go buy whatever I want the next weekend and get it and sell it low and move it quick and
and just so a quick move,
move. I'm not going to make my max amount of money.
Which is how I would probably use it in the future, which I haven't ever gone on again after that one time. But probably what I would do is set aside some items that I'm like, okay, I'm okay with taking a lower value on this if it sells for less and trying to do that.
I think it's important too for people to know, like, it is kind of like a social media platform. So you do, and I get why people were upset in the beginning. Oh, it's not fair, the YouTubers. But in reality, when someone works hard for something, that's not unfair, right? If Ricky's busting his butt at his job every day for 8 years and he gets a promotion, it's like, that's not fair. It's like, yeah, it is. The guy worked his butt off for it, you know? So what I tell people who are new to it, like, hey, if you want to get to that point, you have to work for it. You can't come on and be like, why is there only 10 people in here? You can't do that. You can't come in, expect a big, following or expect everyone to be buying your stuff day one. That's just not reality with anything. It's not the reality with Instagram. It's not the reality with YouTube. It's not. But for some reason, there was a big push on YouTubers. People were upset at them. And of course, there was tons of shout out right now to our Whatnot community, because it is one of the coolest
they are awesome.
communities of people.
I love getting trolled too. It's the best.
It is one of our funnest nights of the week. We have
really
so much
is.
fun doing it. We love the people in there, and we call them the few and the proud there, because there's like a few hundred people in there, and we just have fun and we love it, and it's an extension of our YouTube it's like in our cinematic universe of what we do, so to say.
And it makes it more personable with your fans. You know what I mean? It's
Super
like,
personable.
dude.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I threw up the Atari press kit, because it's like we want it. And it's like
I have no regrets as far as selling stuff.
I know.
We sell super rare stuff.
But
Question: what do you guys think the longevity of that platform is?
I don't know, and that's the because
yeah.
it's I wouldn't say it's super new. It's a couple years old, but really blew up in the last year and a half maybe. And I don't know. I actually know some of the people that work at one. They're literally amazing people, some really good human beings. And, we're not sponsored by them or anymore or anything. So everything I'm saying is what we think. I don't know the longevity. I've thought about that with Ricky before. I'm like, man, how long can this last?
Yeah.
Definitely the getting the retail always and above retail. That was short lived. And we knew that. We're like, this is not everyone's going to think like, oh, I like those guys on YouTube and I'll pay. Because I was doing it. I'd go on and buy a Pokemon card that I don't care about from Chum Lee just because I wanted to. Or even Retro Rick or Phoenix Resale, my friends. And I'm like, yeah, all over. It's fun. You're supporting. But we knew that would die. And now it's like, again, I think the longevity can be long because I know tons of stores, our good friends at Game Tower, who run stuff all the time on there. But it's, again, hey, the Virtual Boy's this price. This is, what do you guys want?
So I started seeing what they were doing because I was like, well, how can I incorporate this with my stores? And it was more a lot of buy it now. It's like going around, they would call it a game tour. I've seen some other game store owners do
Store
this too.
tour.
Yeah, store tour. Where you go around and it's like, if you see something you like this is the price. So I get that. And I haven't done that. So I understand that could be an option for people. But I just wonder, from a buying perspective, I like to buy in a lot of things. So I would go on Whatnot as a buyer and I would find...
Sorry, my ear was getting an earache and I'm like, I'm going to take that off.
Oh, man. Wow. So
I'll take it off.
I would find that it's a time thing there as a buyer. If I want to go in and I'm like, for myself, it might be T-shirts, right? Say I'm looking for some T-shirts. I have to sit there for half an hour, hoping that there's one item that I might be interested in.
Unless it's in Buy It Now.
Yeah.
Unless it's in Buy It Now.
Yeah.
But I never really did the Buy It Now and whatnot. I'm always sitting there for the auctions.
Got it.
So, and this isn't just, this is also Instagram Live. There was a lot of stuff I was buying on Instagram Live.
Yes.
Where as a buyer, initially I was very hot on it. I was like, this is awesome. I love to watch the guys. I feel like I was connecting with the people. I love to be able to comment. They would give me shout outs and kind of felt like you knew them.
Yeah.
What I just naturally started to happen was I was like, dang, I don't want to sit there for a half an hour to maybe see if something comes up. This is just me personally. Now, maybe some people love it so much, but I got burnt out on it a little bit after about a year of doing it.
Well, this is why
really
I mentioned that it's like a social media platform as well, because you also have to think of it like, it's a different world. It's not eBay, right? It's not a physical, stagnant online platform where you're just things listed and you don't have to do anything. You're there and you look at it as a YouTube channel. You look at it as a show. You can be entertaining. I've seen people do games, and those people always have more people in their room because it is hard, again, to get burnt out. And there's no shame to it. However you want to sell is great. But just sitting there, here's the next item. 5 minutes later, all right, here's this one. Maybe I'll list. But if you're having fun, you're engaging, you're doing games, or just, you work out that type of more dry thing works for you, that's great. But I tell people, you got to look at it as in a way as to, would you want to watch that? And one of the biggest compliments that we ever got on that is people saying, I don't even buy stuff. I just like to hang out because it's fun. And to me, that's how it's for us, it was crucial because not everybody wants to buy things. Yeah, we have a few hundred people and some people are like, hey, it's not fair. You have so many people in there, but maybe 60, 40, what is it? 45 people normally?
Something like that.
45 people buy things each night is kind of the average each night of how, and we have a few hundred items, a couple hundred items. So I think that being aware that, it is easy to get burnt out on because some people look at it as just pretending like they're an eBay store. So you're just kind of chilling, here's that. But you have to realize as a viewer, they can get impatient, like you said, and be like, I got to dip,
I think what helps us out too, though, is all the stuff we're selling, most of it is swap meets. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I paid this much for it at the swaps. I'm like, okay, cool. I at least made back what I wanted. It's paying for what we're doing so it's paying for our hobby. It's awesome. I mean, we make a little more, but it's easy to restock.
You just hit a huge point.
Yeah.
And I think that's the sustainability depends on how you're acquiring your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sustainability is very short-lived if you're paying 90% or 80% of what things are worth, right? But when you're like us and you're going to swap meets and you're searching, you're digging, people have to realize that too. We're putting in the time, the energy, the effort every weekend, 5 a.m, taking time away from our family, talking to vendors, building relationships, driving to booths to get things, driving to stores to get things, getting them for, 30% of market, and then being able to not be like, oh, that burned when we only made, we spent $10 and made, an extra 15 on that. That doesn't burn us. But if we're out buying stuff for 90% of market, selling it and being like, shoot, we made $4 or lost money, it's not worth.
Yeah, and I don't think that the sellers will ever go away. It is an awesome, unique platform. I mean, the fact that you can sit there and watch people, and you guys are entertaining people. Again, some of the other ones that I've watched, like I would do the same thing. I would just go in there just because I was used to going in there. I'd want to just see the guy talk. This again was on a lot of Instagram Live stuff.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if there will be more and more buyers similar to me, where it's not that I hate the platform. I don't have anything against it. It was just a time thing. Like, all right, I don't have necessarily time to sit here.
Yeah.
And if the buyers aren't there, do the sellers then start to get discouraged? And I'm talking long term, like 10 years from now.
Though.
Is it, and even I had talked with Whatnot just a little bit. We were looking at having them a sponsor of Retro World. And just from in some talkings with them, they had kind of indicated that they were most interested at that time of like getting more buyers. That was their thing. They wanted more buyers on there.
Sure.
I don't think they were having a tough time getting sellers.
Yes.
They wanted to keep buyers on there.
Yeah.
So that's my only thought with it is not so much from a selling perspective, just how long that can last.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're smart. Like any brand, anything in the world, what do you do when you turn on TV? You bring someone in that has some of a following, whatever it may be, to talk about it so more people are exposed to it. It's not going to be for everybody.
Right.
But it gets that's why they have on YouTubers or people from, I mean, heck, they have celebrities on there all the time.
They had
Post Malone.
No, but it was
Post
Rolling
Malone.
Loud. They did Rolling Loud on it, and they sold all their merch on there.
Yeah, they had
Really?
the
That's cool.
cast
And they
of
had 7,000 people watching.
cast of Cobra Kai was on there. I mean, they have real people because that's their goal, which is smart. They want to get, of course they'll get more buyers as well, but more sellers as well, but they want to get buyers there so it makes sense for the sellers.
Yeah, I think the buyers is the base. Well, they're mutually.
Yeah.
You need both for sure.
Have to.
Because you need that cool stuff like Rolling Loud. You need guys like you.
Yeah.
But the buyers 100% have to be there.
Yeah.
We love it as far as us, like, and again, not sponsored. We not only have a good time, it funds our collecting. We don't get rich off it by any means. We make a little bit of money at most for all the work we put in, but it's an experience for us. It's with the community. We make a little money, and it basically lets us game hunt for free on the weekends for us.
I think what's fun about it, I think what's fun about it is like we're kind of running it like a production, like a show. Like every time we go on Thursday, we go to dinner together, and then it's like, all right, showtime, and it's like we're having a good time.
Like this.
Yeah. Like, and it's just like a nice conversation with your social fans. Like, I mean, it's just great.
No, it's fun, honestly, and like this too. It's so fun. We got to do this. We have fun. We go eat after. Normally one person can't go. Normally it's Ricky, but this time Curtis can't go.
Hey.
Hey.